Hello, my name is Chris Baldwin. I'm a member of the Legalised Cannabis Alliance. I use cannabis medically and recreationally, and I've been using it now on a pretty regular basis for nearly 40 years. I believe the prohibition of cannabis is wrong, and I believe that it serves no useful purpose. There are those who will tell you that the prohibition of cannabis is necessary. If prohibition worked, that we wouldn't be having this conversation or this argument, would we? Because prohibition would be working, so there you go. Prohibition is something that creates a lot of bad things. It creates something called the black market, where cannabis is supplied to people where there's no control on what they get. They get sold rubbish, or they get ripped off, or in some cases the rubbish they get sold is actually more harmful than potentially cannabis could be anyway. It's been in the news a lot lately about protecting children from cannabis, which the black market serves no purpose again. The minimum age on the street is the £10 that you've got in your pocket. The dealer won't ask you if you're old enough to buy it. So most kids will tell you that it's actually easier to buy cannabis than it is alcohol, because alcohol has some control and regulation on it, whereas cannabis doesn't. It's called a controlled drug, but it's not controlled by the authorities, it's controlled by criminals. In Holland they have the Dutch coffee shop system. Now in my opinion this is the way that we should be going, because the Dutch coffee shop system has a situation of regulation and control. There are strict laws that back it up, that nobody under the age of 18 can go in there and buy cannabis. And this rule is pretty strictly adhered to, because the coffee shop risks losing their licence for the sake of selling a few euros worth of cannabis. It just isn't worth it. They also there's also the coffee shop system has eradicated the street trade for cannabis. There is no black market street trade as far as that goes. You don't buy it on the street, you buy it in a coffee shop. It's also being a controlled outlet. You can also get advice and help on on the strength and type of cannabis you're buying, which obviously is helpful. And finally, of course, coffee shops have broken the link between cannabis and other drugs. There is no other drugs for sale, apart from coffee. In a coffee shop you can only get tea, coffee and cannabis. That's it. They've broken the links between cannabis and heroin, cocaine, whatever. There's also now a bit of a growing movement to trying to reclassify cannabis back to Class B. I don't see that will serve any purpose. It certainly won't protect the young. It will merely criminalise millions of people like myself and others like myself who use cannabis with no harmful effects to society at all. I just don't see that bringing it back to Class B is going to help at all. And also, let's face it. I notice all the time that even daytime advertising, alcohol is advertised in the daytime. It's like, where are we protecting children? I'm sorry, but alcohol is advertised on daytime television when children watch it. So let's if we're going to get it right, let's get it right. And to be honest, my sort of message to the government in this one is, when they make alcohol, tobacco and caffeine illegal, then perhaps I'll shut up and stop calling for cannabis to be legalised. Because the way the law stands at the moment, I can only find one word to describe it, which is hypocrisy. And do the government seriously expect people to be happy with that hypocrisy? Because it's just not right. So in my opinion, cannabis should be legalised. It should be controlled through regulated outlets like coffee shops, and then, as in Holland, we would actually probably see I would say we'd see a decrease on the amount of people using it, the amount of young people coming into using cannabis, which would basically achieve their aim. And those who want to use it, well, let's help them to use it in safe environments with some control and regulation over what they buy, because otherwise it's just like prohibition in the States did, alcohol prohibition in the 20s. It harmed more people than it helped. So eventually it had to be repealed. So, cannabis prohibition, it's wrong. Let's get rid of it. Thank you very much.